Okay, so we got some big money opportunities coming up real soon with Bitcoin. So I'm going to break that down, what I'm looking for. There's still time. There is still some time to take advantage of this as I see it. And then we're going to jump into Mars stock after that. So before I break this down, first of all, we're going to go over a lot of things to kind of like keep in mind and to understand just the overall trend historically for this time of year. And remember, like everything I say is just my own opinion, is how I'm looking at the charts. I just like to share with you guys what I'm looking at. In no means am I telling anyone to copy, and I can obviously be wrong. But I always have a handful of reasons on why I believe a certain trend will play out a certain way. But again, it's just my opinion, so please do your own due diligence. And rather or not you think the bull market is still alive or not, it doesn't really matter to me. I explained so many reasons why I believe the bull market is still alive, and those are just my reasons. Anyone else that thinks it is as well may have their own reasons as well. But I've been out for the last few days, so I haven't been uploading. If you guys are on the Discord, and it's free, you guys can join the Discord. It's free. If you don't want it to be free, well, you can just donate to my Bitcoin address in the description, and I'll go out and buy an ice cream cone with it or something like that. But I've been out for a little bit, enjoying like the really nice weather out here recently, and I got sick, and I was like real sick, nasty for like a day and a half, and I'm good now. Most of it's gone, and I should be up and running like perfectly tomorrow. So that's really good. But historically, right, normally August is uh, quite noticeably a bearish time, including September. Now we've seen this happen. Actually, this is actually quite interesting because not just the overall characteristics in the market right now, just with macro events, but the um, the charts are kind of showing a similar volume that we've seen last year as well. So I'm going to be just going off of that as well. So September can very much meet, regardless of it being up almost 3% so far. It's super early. It's only the second day of September. Time is flying, but we have we just have realistically an expectation that September can end up bearish before we see a solid green, you know, next couple months or so, starting in October. So the reason I mention that is because again, just historically, for some reason, this time of year we see, you know, overall inflows for Bitcoin acting a certain way, and it can definitely repeat. But I'm gonna 100% always keep the current value structures as my primary focus, because regardless of what historic trends are, depending where we are in the bigger picture within this overall rest of this bull market, which can end at any point. But I believe my 128K next leg up is conservative, and I believe we can easily crush this. We just have to be a little bit patient. Now, on top of that, right, we got very, very close. Now, these deep value, um, short term deep value areas in purple are quite strong. Like a lot of the time, we usually see these get dipped into real quick before recovering, or even just use the exact top of it. Oops. Okay. We use the exact top of it as support as well. I'm not saying this has to play out this way, but I mean, I'm not really good at color coding, so I failed to make this one purple, but I'm not going to change it. I just leave things how they are. But this one, we bounced off of the top like very, very perfectly before stretching higher. But I'm not saying we are going to stretch up higher from here. I do like to see these areas at least somewhat get filled. So as of right now, because I don't think I have to update this, maybe just a little bit, but this blue overall resistance area, which is from the last major swing high currently to the major swing low, which is um, basically 107.2, 107.3K from the swing high, which is all-time high at the moment. Um, that short-term resistance area that we called out on this channel actually held up very nicely, and it allowed a deeper pullback below the 100% extension at 114.5 for a nice correction that, unfortunately, it was very unfortunate to see that. that the point 0.5 in the previous correction was never filled. We were within the support area and we filled the overlapping blue, but it never filled it, and it never filled the imbalance that we had over here in this blue long rectangle. Long rectangle. But this time around, we finally filled it. We had a second chance at it. We crushed these support areas very nicely. We're still holding within them. This is a very important area to look at. We were able to fill the imbalance. There was some CME gaps everyone was looking at. The liquidity heat map keeps changing. We currently have around 120k. Although for me, conservatively, I'm just looking at 114 because this opens up the discounted portion of this retracement resistance area, which then we can see a one last pullback. Like we have enough momentum right now to crush the red support and enter blue resistance, um, which then will allow us to continue this overall downtrend within this current structure right here, finish the downtrend, have it will just be a strong bullish fake out, but it will allow us for one more low into the purple and then a recovery out of it. Now, we don't have to. The moment we hit this overall resistance area, it shows that there's enough volume. That's why it's a bigger picture resistance. There's enough volume, in my opinion, to potentially give us bullish confirmation, what that would look like. And I'm going to keep track of it, even though ideally, just because we're so close basically at the purple short-term deep value, let's just say the price goes up to 116.5, right? For as an example. Since I mean, not just yet, we have to hit the blue area, which starts at 113.4k. So if we're able to hit this area, even if it's just a little bit, it opens up excuse me. It opens up the potential for Bitcoin to have a higher low within the corrective structure to convert it into a bullish confirmation where we hold a higher low and then that builds enough momentum to crush this area and start testing these value gaps that we have up here, which at this point it will become very likely that we will hold an even bigger higher low and then continue up higher and make a new high, right? I do believe we have one more significant swing high, all-time high this year before the bull market ends. But until then, we're either trying to look for, or at least I'm trying to either look for a test of overall resistance with a higher low. Will be signs that, a higher low right here that actually breaks whatever swing high is created within the blue. And then from there, I'm not looking at, a one more low scenario anymore if that were to happen. Ideally, though, just because we're so close to this purple, it doesn't have to anymore. Just, we've seen this happen. But at this point, if we can crush the higher low support, ideally just bring it lower and dip a little bit further into the purple area, it will create a much more solid opportunities for longs, bulls to really take over. And it will just create a lot more confidence because I'm still holding on to the 75k IBIT position. I would like to add a lot more to it, especially buying some BitU. But I don't really want to do that unless we can actually trade within the purple. If that doesn't happen, if we actually hold a higher low and confirm bullish momentum to actually be in the lead, then if the price just continues higher and it just starts skyrocketing up, then I really don't care. I'm invested and I'm good. But when it comes to historic patterns, we usually see if historically September is it's a weak month, so we can see early this month, within like the first week, we can see bullish momentum. This will easily lead the price up into the blue, and then from there, since the rest of the month is expected to be, just historically speaking, expected to be weak, then we can see the rest of the month being weak until we reach October, and then we can start seeing that bullish momentum just based from that alone. And actually, the current structures that we're in, the value of the current structures that we're in actually support these historic the chart I just showed you to on Glassnode or CoinGlass or something like that to actually play out very similarly to how they played out last year as well. So overall, what I mean by that is that Bitcoin is so attractive right now. My IBIT position is pretty much flat right now, um, which is amazing because seeing the IBIT position pretty much flat below 115 is amazing because I think anything below 120K right now is an amazing deal. So having it, the average being so low is amazing. And if I can get the opportunity to buy in the purple, that'll be even better. But again, if it just starts to pump from here, I really don't care. But again, any further bullish momentum, again, there's no reason to be overly optimistic because this is an overall retracement resistance area, which can lead us to ideally have one more low into the purple. That would be crazy. If we see Bitcoin briefly even break below 100K, that'll be absolutely crazy. Or even just break below 107K, this will be amazing. But if we don't, cool, we just go up higher. I'm not complaining anything about that. But Bitcoin is looking super attractive to me right now. Um, and once we reach the blue area, again, the opportunity for potentially a higher low, so we can get bullish confirmation for higher prices will become increasingly more likely. But I'm hoping it fails just because this purple area is so attractive to see deep value happen within a what still a bull market because we don't have bear market confirmation just yet. Now, when it comes to Mara stock, because I've been repeating myself way too much in this video about Bitcoin, um, but it's important to repeat yourselves often, I believe. But either way, yeah, if you guys remember, in last video when I talked about Mara. Oh, excuse me. Um, I kept saying, Bitcoin is due for a corrective. It's basically just showing some strength within a downtrend, which affirms everyone, in my opinion, that um, there's still strength within the price, and we could potentially see a recovery at any point. So I mean, that's a better way of saying it. I don't feel like I said it that well in last video, but the point I'm trying to make is that in last video I said, because we briefly hit the resistance areas to start selling longs and opening up some short opportunities, but I said even though it doesn't have to actually close or have any strong momentum above this area, it'll become more ideal because as we start off very narrow, it's just very similar to the 2024 structure as well that lasted quite a bit of time. And it was an amazing few months of trading. It was like consistently hitting support and resistances, like perfect opportunities. Um, but it's very similar where we see narrowing, and then as the channel begins to show its strength within a sideways consolidation pattern, we start to see the price widen. And I believe that's what we're seeing right now. So what I mean to say is until we can sustainably see Mara stock hold into either direction where it has a break of structure that sustains itself, then there's no reason to be overly optimistic in either direction or feared in either direction. So what I mean by that is that, well, it's quite simple, really. It's quite simple. Um, I believe that currently a great way of approaching Mara stock for short-term trading. And here's the bigger picture too. Like before I even say that, we're still in an uptrend. I kept saying in previous videos, like so many, that this uptrend, in my opinion, will be invalidated the moment we break the swing low. The moment we break below this yellow line, then we could potentially close the gap for much lower prices, and this will be super super attractive. And I personally will probably be accumulating quite heavy. Um, if we go into the discounted portions of this area right here, I believe Mara stock is a no-brainer below 10. But as long as we're holding this uptrend and we are in an overall retracement area right now for support accumulation, then as long as we hold this area and not break below the yellow, the opportunity to capture some short-term gains within retracement and the value gap is very high, with the possibility of the overall top for this next potential pump being anywhere from $20 and above, right? That's my view. But now when it comes to short-term trading, my view is still the same. I kept saying I'm gonna make this super wide because like this is all that matters right now. until we can have sustained break of structure into either direction. The idea is to continue to capture the support and resistance lines within this sideways moving pattern. So what I've been saying in so many other videos is that every time, so it's going to be $16.23 and basically like $15.11, with the point 0.5 actually being perfectly in the middle um of this sideways channel at $15.68. So basically what this means is that as long as we're trading sideways and this, that we see the price spread continues to widen quite a bit, there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of resistance and support as take profit opportunities for short-term trades, with them also being an opportunity to open shorts and open longs. So like I've been saying that since we were like back here, and we had great opportunities to open longs, take profit, open shorts, take profit, open longs, take profit, open shorts. And as long as you're not being greedy and you're like setting those limits, those SLs, and you're not like being hopeful, you've been capturing some solid trades. Like just conservatively speaking, like 5% at least, like has been super easy, and like 1 to 2 day long trades. It doesn't have to continue, but as of right now, there's no sign indicating that this sideways channel is breaking. I mean, you can say, yeah, we're making these higher lows right here, so is it possible? Or yeah, higher lows right here, so is it possible for the price just to break out? Yes, but even this pump couldn't break the swing high, so it's very much possible that we're just seeing some consolidation within the premium section before we see a dip. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens the rest of this week. Like as of right now, I am saying that there's an opportunity to capture more shorts. Like yeah, we bought some shorts here. It came down. It never reached this area, and then just came back up. And then again, it came back down. Couldn't hold below the point 0.5, and then it's starting to go back up again. I really don't care that this is just short term noise. This is just consolidation, right? Because Bitcoin is sort of like, even the overall market, we're like seeing this little bit of optimism and fear like fighting each other, and that's causing like really tight fluctuations. So I really don't care. The bigger picture shows this, right? Where we're seeing like this overall pattern happen. So the idea here is quite simple. Like we don't have a sustained break of structure to the upside. So my opinion is still that if the price goes above this area, open up shorts. The SLs will be as simple as like where the overall like bigger swing high is, which is right here. Like an SL at 1663, perfect. Or like at this point, you can even set the SL at 1654. Like it's all up to your own trading and risk management. But as of right now, and let's see what happens. As of right now, because we haven't hit the support line just yet, and we don't have a break of structure to the upside, my opinion is that we're going to come down. We're going to come down, and we're going to see 1511 again soon. Like it's just as simple as that. If we don't have a sustained break of structure to the upside, there's just no reason to think that this is over, right? This is just short-term noise. It's as simple as that. When that happens, then my opinion shifts, because I am focused just on what the chart is telling me at this moment, where like what's most probable, and that is that like, okay, well, we had 2 chances to open up longs. We haven't hit this swing high, so no SL is triggered, which means the focus is still on shorts. It's as simple as that, right? It's as simple as that. And if we had enough momentum, like even on smaller time frames where there's a strong imbalance right here, like it never held as support, right? So it's as simple as that. Again, we can either hit the resistance and trade above it like very briefly, like we've done here and here. That's very much possible, but I don't believe it's going to be sustained and go up higher until it proves itself. So watch the rest of this week, and let's see what happens. The rest of this week, we're either not going to hit resistance, and we're just going to come down to support, or we will break resistance very briefly, but then just come back below it and then make our way down to support once again. That's what I'm looking at, right? And if you want to be conservative with it, is like, well, if you have an opportunity to buy shorts right here, then just use the 0.5, 1568 as as your TP, right? Because like let's just say you open up a short here. Look at that. That's 3% just from the equity alone. So whatever that's gonna be on puts. Like that's if you want to be conservative. But as of right now, because there's nothing telling me that there's something else that's probable. My opinion, my own opinion, personally speaking, just what I think. Do your own due diligence, your own risk management. But my view is that we're gonna come down very soon. I mean, if there's an opportunity to capture shorts at a higher price, that'll be great. But my view is that we're gonna come down in his support once again, and then we'll see another opportunity to take profit on shorts and an opportunity to open up some longs, with the idea of starting to sell the majority of those longs back at the low $16 range. And it's as simple as that, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.